Good morning. You are going to need this paper right here to do this journal entry along with this demonstration. It's a lab demo that we're doing today along with a journal entry. So we're going to separate out some mixtures using some different tools so you know what these tools are used for and how to use them. Okay, so the first one that we're going to start with is a strainer. And there are a couple different strainers that we use. Sometimes it's one of these metal mesh ones. And then sometimes we'll use more of like a plastic strainer. This is probably more, well, you may have either one of these at home. You've probably seen this one used, or maybe even a metal one like this used in your kitchen. It's like a colander. I know we use them at home, like whenever we make macaroni or spaghetti, or not SpaghettiOs, whenever we make spaghetti or macaroni or some kind of pasta, we'll use one of these. We've used these before too. Sometimes we'll use them like when we're trying to like dip out maybe some bay leaves or something like that, or whenever we're draining meat maybe. But anyways, we're using both of these in science today. Either one would work. You're welcome to get out and try some of these things if you have them at home. Don't go out and purchase anything, but if you have them, maybe try to use them to separate some mixtures. But definitely watch the video so you know what you're doing. So this is our strainer. What you're going to do on this page right here, I'll show you just like I have been all year. I'll make sure that I put a picture of it with all the information you need so that you can copy it down and get this glued in your journal. I'll show you the table of contents and all that stuff. So we're going to draw a picture of each one of these tools, and then we're going to show how it helps to separate out a mixture. So if I have a mixture of, let's say I have a mixture of some rocks and some water that I'm wanting to separate out, or maybe some beads and some rocks and some water, no. Then what I can do, I could pick them out with my hand, or if it's something, I'm not necessarily wanting to touch, I could use something like this strainer, pour it over, and then the larger items are going to be what stay inside the strainer. Okay, so whatever the larger items are. Now, if it was something that would be like this, I could have used the plastic one easily because they wouldn't have fallen through the holes. Either one works, so they basically work the same thing. The smaller items stay through on top, and then the liquid or the larger, smaller items will, what am I trying to say? My goodness. The liquid or the liquid will go through, or the smaller items will go through, and the larger items will stay on top. Goodness. Okay, another tool that we use is a coffee filter, okay? I have a Keurig at home, but I also have a coffee maker that uses these. So you may have some of these at home. And what we're going to separate out is right here, I have a little mixture of sand and water. So in order to have something to hold my filter, I have like a little funnel. It just makes it a little bit easier instead of me trying to hold a paper filter and pour through it. It just makes a huge mess if you try to do that. So I'm using a funnel to kind of hold that filter, and then I'm going to put it onto another cup, and I will pour this dirty, sandy water through. Okay. And what's going to end up happening, it's going to kind of drip. You can see it's kind of running through here. But what happens is the liquid goes through the filter. So you can I think you can kind of see there's water getting out of this cup. And what ends up staying inside the filter, let me see if I can get it to drain the rest of the way. I'll show you. It's still trying to drain, but I want to show you. The solids actually stay in the filter. So we use this whenever we're making coffee. Sometimes people may use it to make like tea, like with tea leaves. Sometimes people will use this like with bay leaves or different kinds of seasoning. They may wrap it up, and that way they can just pull this out of their pot of chili or whatever. But this is just some sand that we have filtered out from water. So a coffee filter, the liquids go through and the solids do not. Okay, let's see here. I'll move some stuff out of the way, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see this. I have some sand, and inside the sand is some iron filings. Okay, iron filings are just like little particles of iron that have been shaved off from something made out of iron. And then I have a magnetic wand. So our next tool that we're going to use is a magnet. Now, inside this sand, like I said, are those iron filings. So what I'm going to try to do, I may have to pick up the camera so that you can see a little bit better, but I'm going to try to collect some of the iron filings out of the sand. And I think I'll go ahead and do that. So you may feel dizzy for a second while I pick this up, but I want you to be able to see really well. It's more important for you to see this than for you to see me. Okay, so if I kind of run my magnet over this, you can kind of see how I'm getting some iron filings start. Well, I think you can see. Let me pull this out just a little bit further. Okay, so I'm going to kind of dig this down into it, the magnet down into it. And you can see I'm starting to get some iron filings together out of the sand. And there's some more right there. So I'm just mixing them with the sand. So you could do the same thing with like plastic paper clips and metal paper clips. Or really anything that you know is a metal and possibly might be a magnetic metal. You can see I got a whole bunch there. So anytime you're trying to separate something that is magnetic from something that's not magnetic, you could use a magnet to do this. Okay. You can see pretty well that I'm getting quite a bit of the iron filings out. Okay, so you could, and then you can even see some there. Okay, so, and I'm sure that's probably not the same way it was, but it works. Okay, so, yeah, it's not. So that is using our magnet to separate out a mixture, and I'm just going to mix this back in. This is something I just use over and over again. And then the last form of separating method of separating mixtures that we're going to use is evaporation. Okay, I'm actually not going to do a demo on that today. I may later in the week, but you have seen it in video form. And basically, if you have salt water or sugar water or something like that, you can boil the water, and the water will evaporate, and then the solids will remain. So the sugar or the salt or whatever it is that you're trying to separate will stay in the pot. Okay. All right. Well, I will make sure that I put a copy of this on your assignment for the day, and y'all have a great day.